What's up, Melanated family? This is your boy Harrison from Melanated Fathers TV, bringing you a new episode of History Matters, where we discuss the people, places, and situations from our past, just to get a clear understanding of how we are to move forward. So please hit that like button, hit that share button on the video if you haven't done so already. Also, please subscribe to the Melanated Fathers TV YouTube channel. So what we're going to discuss today, family, is the situation behind 40 acres and a mule. Now, many people have heard the term 40 acres and a mule and understand the basic premise behind the phrase, which is basically America promised former slaves or freed slaves land, and for one reason or another, it didn't happen. Now, what we're going to do today is we're actually going to get into the specifics of the situation to determine what was actually promised and how this monumental idea came to be. So once the Civil War was coming to an end, Union leaders decided to gather a group of 20 Black ministers who were also seen as leaders in the Black community to discuss what they thought would be necessary to put the newly freed slaves on the right track to equality. So in Savannah, Georgia, General William T. Sherman, along with his Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton, with the group of Black ministers, like I told you, they all gathered to discuss this important issue. Now, the group's leader, the Black group's leader, or spokesman for this occasion, was a 67-year-old pastor named Reverend Garrison Frazier. Frazier, who was a minister for 35 years himself at that time, was a man who was born in Grainesville, North Carolina, and who had recently purchased his freedom for him and his wife. Now, Sherman posed 12 questions to the preacher to determine their course of action. And in my opinion, a very important question that was asked to Frazier was, state in what manner you would rather live, whether scattered amongst the whites or in colonies by yourself. And Frazier answered, I would prefer to live by ourselves, for there is a prejudice against us in the South that will take years to get over. To me, that was important because in today's society, in my opinion, it seems as if many melanated people, if given the choice, would prefer to live amongst white people or other groups of people without understanding the significance of first building group economics in your own community. Now, Frazier made it clear that the only way true equality could come to fruition in this country is if land redistribution was a big part of that process. So on January 16th, 1865, General William T. Sherman signed the Field Order 15, which would be later known as 40 Acres and a Mule, and was essentially setting aside 400,000 acres for freed slaves, which was basically confiscated land from former Confederate owners. Now, the land was to be divided up, and each family would get up to 40 acres of land, which was orchestrated by General Rufus Saxton, who was appointed by Sherman to oversee the land allotment. Now, the order stated, when speaking about where this land would actually be, a strip of coastline stretched from Charleston, South Carolina, to the St. Johns River in Florida, including Georgia's Sea Islands and the mainland 30 miles in from the coast, would all be set aside for the newly freed slaves. Keeping in mind, the mule portion was never included in the order. Sherman later ordered that the Army would loan the freed slaves mules. Okay, now, many free melanated people, Black people, even began moving to this new land. A Baptist minister named Ulysses L. Houston led 1,000 melanated people to Skidaway Island, Georgia, where they established a self-governing community, naming Houston the Black governor. And by June of that year, 40,000 melanated people had settled on that land. So to me, that actually showed that we were willing and able to be self-sufficient without any outside interference. Now, ultimately, after President Lincoln, who initially approved the order, was assassinated in April of 1865, the order was overturned by new President Andrew Johnson. It's important to note that Johnson sympathized with the Southern sentiments regarding slavery, which led him to actually make that decision. And this basically effectively, returned the land to the very people that declared war on the United States, right? So this has been another episode of History Matters. Like I said before, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to the Melanated Fathers TV YouTube channel for more videos like this. I'm out.